Hello everyone, and welcome to the Greenroom. I'm your host, Trevor Penisula. You may have seen me on the Oil News Network before. I've left that organization for something more moderate, an underfunded talk show with no guests to talk to so I can say anything I want without being held accountable. Now, today we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind ever since the debate over at ONN. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about oil. And not just how expensive or overrated it is, I'm talking about how oil spills affect the environment. Now, let's get to it. First off, what is an oil spill? Well, I'm glad you asked. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, most oil spills are caused by accidents that involve tankers, pipelines, refineries, and drilling rigs. Some causes that have been identified are people making mistakes or being careless, equipment breaking down, natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes, and deliberate attacks from terrorists or countries at war. Some of the worst oil spills include Deepwater Horizon, Istok 1, and the spill during the Persian Gulf War. Aquatic plants and animals are seriously affected by oil spills, and I'm not just talking about the Diddy Party. Spilled oil can destroy the water-resistant layer of water birds and sea otters. Also, animals that ingest the oil or breathe in the fumes can experience indigestion, diarrhea, and reproductive failure. And those are just the mild symptoms. Animals can also lose control of their cellular metabolism, starve, and eventually die. No animal on Earth should experience this type of torturous and excruciating death. Except maybe wasps, and yellowjackets, and hornets, and spiders, and ticks, and mosquitoes. One organism that not many people think of when it comes to oil spills is plankton. And while these types of plankton aren't trying to steal the secret formula, they are important members of the aquatic ecosystem. Phytoplankton and zooplankton take ultraviolet rays from the sun and release oxygen into the water and the air. Without these teensy-weensy sea creatures, life in the water could not exist. So, it is quite problematic that oil spills pretty much one-shot all plankton in the area. When these organisms ingest droplets of spilled oil, they can lose the ability to swim, to reproduce, and to eat. It's no surprise to anyone, oil spills have no positive effects on any plant or animal in the world's oceans. So what can be done to save these poor animals from a terrible fate? Well, there are a few successful methods. One of them is called oil herding, where cleaning up people use chemicals called herding surfactants that have hydrophobic tails and hydrophilic heads. And these reduce the air-water surface tension and turn the thin layer of oil into a thicker, easier to remove sludge. The one problem here is that herding surfactants are chemically based, so they still cause damage to the environment. One study showed a natural-based surfactant called konjac could be better than these chemical ones. I'm not sure it's legal to smoke, but we'll get to that in another time. Konjac can be used in cooler climates, whereas chemical surfactants cannot be used there. Other methods of cleaning oil involve scraping the sludge off the surface with boats, burning the oil on the water, and releasing chemicals into the water and breaking down the oil like we just talked about. But what about the animals that have already been exposed to oil before it can be cleaned? Well, I'm sure glad you asked. The Oiled Wildlife Care Network has a few steps in place to clean up these poor fauna, and it takes more than just Dawn dish soap to make them whole again. Step 1. A group searches the affected area in search of animals. Step 2. Another group herds the animals into a collection area using loud noises. Step 3. A third group takes the animals to the nearest treatment facility. Step 4. All of the animals are given a full physical exam to record weight and age. Then, the animals are fed and monitored for 48 hours before any cleaning can take place. Step 5. The animals are then cleaned. Birds are washed in different tubs of water until they are fully clean. Sea otters and fur seals have soapy water poured onto them and washed. Sea turtles have soap sprayed directly on them and they get mega scrubbed. Step 6. The animals are monitored for 3 to 5 days as they regain their strength and their abilities. Step 7. The animals are finally released back into the wild and into an unaffected area as cleanup efforts continue. Well, there you have it, folks. Oil spills are detrimental to the health of our oceans and the organisms that live within it. Whether it be physical injury or internal destruction, we must do more to protect nature. And vote for Obama in 2028.